Listening in here on Between Us, Jaiden and Lindsie, they spill the tea. Laughter, tears, unscripted reality. Between us, life's a wild ride. Between us, no secrets inside. Yeah, it's time for Between Us. Come on, it's time for Between Us.
Welcome to another episode of Between Us. On today's episode, we have special guests, Seth and Britney. Give it up! How long have we known you guys?
2017
or
16 or 17.
Yeah, we used to live in their neighborhood, went to church. They invited us to dinner one time. Chili's.
That's actually Jaiden invited us.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And we've been friends ever since.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or did we invite you? I don't remember.
I think you invited, or you said, I don't know. I don't know.
Mutual.
Someone invited somebody. But now Chili's is our place we usually go to.
Yeah.
Definitely not Red Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell that story.
So we're going to dinner, right? And Jaiden, they pick us up, and he's like, "Hey, where do you guys want to go?" We're like, "I don't care." They're like, "Oh, we're not picky. We don't care." And I'm like, "Dude, I've been thinking about Red Robin lately." And Jaiden's like, "Yeah, no, we're not going to go there. We're actually going to go to Asado." So it was like, "Oh, okay. Why even ask?"
Story of my life.
I know, Lindsay literally said that yesterday. She's like, why do you even ask me when I know you've already come to a conclusion? Just courtesy.
Courtesy.
So that's a running joke now. It's like, no Red Robin, not when we go. So, yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
I don't know how often you guys watch, but we've had some pretty fun guests on recently.
Yeah, you have.
And it's just fun because it's like, I don't know of any other podcast that has couples come on. You know, usually it's just one person,
Like a single person.
or whatever, right? So why don't you guys introduce yourselves a little bit, talk about the State of the Union.
Oh, yeah. I always look at Seth because I kind of forget how long we've been married.
17 years.
Okay.
18 this summer.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
We met in college.
That's right.
My roommates had a party,
Okay.
and my boyfriend broke up with me that day. So I was hiding in my room.
Okay.
And I guess he had found out that there was a girl in the back room. And so he went back into my room and he was like, "Why don't you come out to the party?" And I was like, "Oh, my boyfriend broke up with me today." And he's like, "Oh, forget about it. You'll find somebody totally better." And then the next week we went on a date.
Wow.
We dated for 3 years.
Yep.
And got married in 2006.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many kids do you guys have?
4. We got 2 boys and 2 girls.
The cutest kids.
They're the best.
And how old's your oldest?
She's 15, turning 16 next month.
Oh
I
my
can't believe
gosh,
that.
I
really?
know.
Does she have a driver's permit?
Yeah, she has her permit. You know, she's doing okay. It's a little scary.
Yeah.
We thought that having her have a Power Wheels as a child would maybe set her up a little bit better. It didn't.
Oh.
No,
Really?
no. It's it's definitely
Utah's a
learning
scary
curve.
place to drive. I'll just say,
What are you talking about? There's one highway.
I know, but the drivers here are kind of scary.
Yeah, I would
The
say
implant drivers that make it.
That's what I was trying
that's
to
what
say.
he
I feel
says.
like it's the out of
It's the
state.
out-of-staters.
he goes, "Do you see who's over there?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "They're from California."
They're either in a Subaru or from California. That's
I know.
it.
Jaden's always like, if you get stuck behind someone, oh, obviously they're from Colorado.
Yeah. I've literally taken pictures of people's plates and sent it to her, a Colorado plate. I'm like, this person's a horrible driver. And Seth, you own a pest control company?
Own a pest control company and a virtual assistant agency.
right.
Yep.
And then the pest control company, are you taking new clients in Utah?
Yep. Utah and Georgia.
Okay. So check them out, AREAT.
RePestControl.com.
Yeah.
We use them and
It's
we don't
awesome.
get bugs.
All our bugs go to our neighbors.
Yeah,
They're always complaining, you know. And then you were a nurse.
Yep.
Pediatrics.
Yeah.
Still are a nurse,
Yeah,
right?
still Seth says that I am retired temporarily.
Okay.
So I quit probably about a year and a half ago after working in pediatrics for
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has to be a hard job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we were never a nurse, but we were the nurses' helpers
Yeah.
as a CNA,
Yeah.
and that was enough for me.
Yeah. Just rewarding, I
Yeah.
think, to just come home every day and feeling like you help people.
Yeah.
So, everyone stays alive.
Yes. Okay. Any other introduction?
No, I do have to say though, we have pest control salespeople come to our house a lot, and I always say, "Oh well, our friend owns a company," but they still try to argue with me, like thinking I'm still gonna get their product.
Still gonna buy.
I'm like, our friend owns the company. They're like, well, how much does he charge? I'm like, I don't know. He's the owner. Okay, we're not moving.
Yeah. You see these cobwebs?
I'm like, yeah, they do that. Okay.
Means it's a good salesman.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, something interesting that I saw in the news.
Okay.
So, basketball wife star Megan James warns of flesh-eating bacteria on Bahamas Pig Island after friend's leg amputation.
We've been there. Have you
So, have you seen in the Caribbean where the pigs
Yeah.
are on the beach?
Yes,
and you go
yes.
up
And you go and like pet them.
Yeah, so it sounds like they went there and her friend got bit by a pig, or somehow this flesh-eating bacteria on the island got into her leg while she was there, and they had to amputate it. But we literally did that.
We did
and
that
I
in
kept
the
telling
Bahamas.
Lindsay, I'm like, this is gross and nasty.
Well, they poop
Yeah.
in the water
Yeah.
a lot. And the people just try to come by and like pick it up as they're pooping. But I mean, I had a good time and I didn't think any of the pigs would bite, but maybe if you accidentally like,
Well, I've seen videos of like influencers go there and then they end up getting bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've never seen him yet.
I feel like
Yeah.
I have a rule when it comes to excursions on a cruise or something,
Yeah.
that if it involves me holding an animal, touching an animal, looking at an animal,
Looking
I don't do it.
I know.
So I'm really glad that I've never done
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Because he made me do the stingray one
oh yeah, I've done
that one time. And I hopped on a person
She
because
bit
I
her
was
friend.
I was so scared. I just don't do it.
Well, that's probably Jaiden, but he's married to me, and I will always do the animal excursion.
Yeah, and every time. Yeah. Because we just we talked about this on the podcast, but we went to this
The cow. I told you about
cuddle
the cow.
with a cow thing.
Oh,
here
yes.
in
Oh, I saw
Utah.
you
Yes.
post about it.
And
Yeah.
the cow
Do
literally
not go.
just smacked Fletcher with his horn. Yeah,
Yeah,
he still
like, he's
talks
still
about
talking
it.
about
People
Yeah.
that have not grown up around cows would go and pay to cuddle with a cow.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, because I sat down next to this like older guy, and he was like, "What are they doing here?" Like even he was
Yeah.
like, "These are not cows. You should be like anywhere near." So,
Did you grow up with cows?
Around them, yeah.
Oh, well.
yeah. Okay. Also in the news, have you seen the Livestream portal between New York and Dublin?
No.
No?
You haven't seen that?
I haven't
No.
seen it either.
You haven't seen that?
No, I don't
No.
keep up with the news.
So the city of New York put in a portal, per se, a live like circle screen that had a 24/7 camera, and then they put another one in Dublin. So the people in New York could see the people in Dublin,
Yeah.
and vice versa, right?
Okay.
And it's supposed to be this fun, like we're connecting people throughout the world with these portals, right? But as you can imagine, people got crazy ideas, and some inappropriate behavior, like flashing the camera, happened.
Yeah.
you know,
For sure.
drug
Inevitable.
use in front of the camera,
lovely.
and they were showing like bad images of 9/11 on the camera, like. So it got really
How
weird.
did they do that? Like,
They literally just put it on their phone and then
Oh,
held it
yeah,
in front
yeah.
of the camera.
Oh,
you
okay.
know?
that's weird.
So they shut it down, the portal, but they just recently reopened it. And I wonder what they changed as far as like how are they going to avoid
Maybe like AI, blocks it.
maybe
So
it turns
Or it
off.
could be, or it could be delayed.
Oh.
Like
Oh,
it
that's
could be like a
true.
delayed.
So they could cut out if
Yeah.
Does that mean someone has to sit and watch it all day though?
there's already tons of sites that you can go to that have live feed all over the world.
Oh, you were showing
Yeah.
me
was
that.
showing-
He goes
I kinda
down rabbit
dove-
holes with that.
I dove into it. So we were going. Remember when we went to Hyatt to the Ziva?
Yeah.
So they had one
They have
there.
a live cam.
Oh,
so I
that's
found out
right.
about that just by searching it, and then I found out, oh, you can go and look at other places. And so where did we want to go for my 40th?
Thailand.
So I wanted to go to Thailand, right? For my 40th, and COVID hit, so we couldn't go.
Yeah.
And so like had some friends over, and I was showing them it, and then they were like, I was like, hey, this is Thailand. It had this random like 7-Eleven, right? And they're like, you've seen this before? I'm like, yeah, look, 2 dogs will walk out. There's a black and a white one. And they come walking around the corner.
They just replay the
They
same
were
video.
like, I think you've been watching this too much.
So now,
Yeah, I probably
after
have,
him saying
yeah.
that, I can
You like
see why
know
people
everyone
look
by
at
name.
it.
You're like, there's George.
Yeah, there's George. He usually buys, a carton of milk.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, so you could, dude, and it's addicting. It's intriguing. 'Cause You
Really?
could get them anywhere in the world.
So maybe
that's a good
this will
idea.
work. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe this could be big. I just don't know why the city of New York would pay.
Oh, they pay for it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it came from the city
Oh, because you just
That-
look for free.
that installed these.
Yeah. I'm
But I
sure
don't
it's
know.
to influence tourism, right? Bring
Probably,
people to the
right.
city.
But I kept seeing comments of like they put it in the worst part of Dublin and like, so I don't know. It seems like, but it seems like it wasn't just the people in Dublin, but also the people in New York were being crazy with it. So yeah, I just saw that. I was like, it's so funny. And the fact that they reopened it, I'm wondering what's changed. So, okay, should we move on to a game?
Sure,
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
it.
All right. Have you ever played the game Would You Rather?
Yeah.
Okay. Me and Lindsay, I think we talked about this on the pod, right?
Jaiden's very good at Would You Rather, but I'm horrible at it.
Yeah, it was like, were we dating or
Yeah,
were we
we were
married?
dating. We were dating.
And we were playing that game, and I was like, you do one. And she's like, okay. It's like, would you rather be blind or eat and never get fat?
I thought, for some reason in my head, I was like, this is a good one.
That's a tough one.
That's a hard one to pick.
Yeah.
So I came up with a couple of like more couples related would you rather. So
Okay.
would you rather go on an adventurous backpacking trip across Europe, which you guys recently went to Europe, right?
Yeah.
Or relax at an all-inclusive resort in the Caribbean or wherever, in Mexico, right? So you guys have done both. Which would
Yeah.
you rather?
Oh, Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. We really like something we've discovered in the last, like, I don't know, 10 years. We like being warm. And the beaches are always
Yeah.
warm. Well, most of the time.
You'd rather go and sit on a beach.
Yes.
Jaiden, this
Well-
one's actually a better one for you because.
Well, we can answer too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm not the kind that can just sit there all day.
Really?
Right. Like I can't just sit
Oh,
there.
you're saying like at the beach or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sit-
Okay.
like I would have to get up and do beach activities, or like when we I'll go golf one day or things like that. But like I'm going backpacking across Europe and sleeping in gross places, like no thanks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm
Like a
Camping,
hostel or
hostel,
something.
like
No.
dude, I grew up camping all the time.
Yeah.
Like I've done that enough.
You're like,
Like,
I'm
I'm
tapped
old enough
out
I
on
can pay for a nice bed to sleep in.
That's what I'm saying because I'm like, Europe would be cool, but I
But let's
don't
just
want
say
to.
a
I don't want
Europe
to
trip or an
backpack.
all-inclusive.
Okay, but you put backpacking.
That's different.
Yeah, that's different. The backpacking thing
That's
throws us
what-
off.
okay.
Because hiking in general or
And just,
getting
like,
rides off
yeah.
people, no thanks.
Yeah.
I would say we are like in that sense, if we weren't backpacking, then I think we would pick something in Europe.
Oh,
because we
really?
like seeing like new things, like when we went to Rome, and like when you walk around Rome and you like turn
what
a
I
corner,
mean.
and it's like
Rome's
there's
awesome.
like the Colosseum,
Yeah.
and then when and then the Vatican's around the corner, and the Sistine Chapel. It's like
Yeah.
we like stuff like that.
Okay. What about you? I guess we have never been to Europe.
We've never been to
so-
Europe, but if you take out the backpacking,
Yeah,
I
you
will
gotta take out
never
the
go
backpack.
backpacking.
You're really
I'll
stuck on
never
Yeah.
go backpacking anywhere.
If you say backpacking or hiking, I'm
Yeah.
out. Except you're hiking this summer.
I am. I'm hiking
The Epic.
the women's epic with our gym. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
Brittany to sign up.
Yeah, she's trying.
You need to sign up.
You know,
Mackenzie
you know
signed up?
how they say to do things that spark joy.
That's
just
not
like-
one of them.
Nope.
Well, it doesn't really spark joy, just like a challenge sometimes. Physically only are the
Yeah, you
challenges
love
that I
those.
like.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is, would you rather have long, deep conversations about your feelings or express love through small, thoughtful actions?
Thoughtful actions.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't share my emotions.
know. Brittany's
I don't
face
share my
says.
emotions.
Seth doesn't like if I share my emotions if it's after 10 o'clock. If it's after
Like, I
10
better get
o'clock,
this
he's
out
like,
before
no, like I'm
10.
shut down. And if for some reason, for me, I get the most out of meaningful conversations.
Yeah, me too.
And whatever reason, it like sparks as soon as we brushed our teeth.
No, it's as soon as like her show's over at 12:30. She's like, "Hey,
and you're like already dozing, right?
did you want to talk about our relationship right now and these troubles we're having?" Like, no, I want to go to bed. Like,
How does it usually go? Is it like, let's talk about that tomorrow? Or do you just, okay, let's talk about it?
He usually comes up with something like, I don't really want to be bothered before I go to bed. I don't want to talk about this right now.
Okay.
But if it's before 10 a.m., I'm somebody that's like, can we pause for a moment and discuss this later? Because I need to work this out in my mind first.
Okay.
And he's like, no, let's work it out right now. And I need time. And so then the time comes after I've brushed my teeth.
What about you, Linz?
I am more of a small, thoughtful actions type of person.
Sad. I like monumentous things, right? Like, I want big moments, I guess, right? Where it's like, I want to have those deep conversations, but I know Lindsay's like, "Ugh, can we get this over with? Like, but yeah, I think, because what would be a small, thoughtful action? Just like,
Just, I don't know. I feel like either doing something nice for somebody or even just going up and like giving you a hug or something like that. I don't know.
all right. Seems like we're all in disagreement, but
yeah, well,
okay. The next
can you do?
one, I don't know if you guys watch reality TV, but
Seth's reality TV is like the PGA.
okay, it's PGA. Okay, would you rather compete together on The Amazing Race? Have you seen that show?
Yes, yes.
Okay, or compete against each other on Survivor?
I for sure would want to compete with him on The Amazing Race.
Really?
Yeah. I think like when we do something together, we're a good team.
So you think you guys would do well?
No. You just it was a would you
you
rather.
would see our marriage unravel on national TV.
Yeah, what made me think of this, we were talking about it yesterday because my mom was here and she loves those shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And like, she's like, you and Jaiden need to go on The Amazing Race.
Yeah.
And Lindsay's like, no.
I
Yeah.
said no.
I should go with my sister.
I'm going with my sister because I know for a fact I will get along with her the entire time.
Oh yeah.
And we work really well together. But
You do.
Jaiden, when he gets in competitive mode, flies off the handle at small things. So I couldn't. Our marriage wouldn't make it through the amazing race. I don't think.
It'd be good for like 99% of the time, but it's like those
Oh.
critical,
Yeah.
you need a decision right now.
Yeah.
Well, and the way that we work is like I don't like to fight about stuff. I like to stay silent for a minute, for a while. And so I
That
feel like
sounds familiar.
I feel like half of the race I would just be like sitting there silent, not talking to Jaden.
And I'd be like,
Well,
why aren't you talking?
And then it'll
Well,
make
you
Jaden
decide. You decide then. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna
Exactly.
sit here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
I-
Jaden will get more mad.
I feel like in the competing part, like we would do really well. But then it was like, if it came to something like, hey, you have to order an Uber,
Yeah.
he would be like, why don't you know how to order an Uber?
Yes.
And I'm like, I just don't know. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know what would-
It's like the little things you would get mad
Yes, yes, that would be
You know what
Jaden.
would break us
What?
is Lindsay trying to navigate.
I navigate very well,
She is the
Jaden.
worst
No.
passenger navigator.
No.
Yes, Lindsay. It would be like this. I'd be like, okay, where are we going? What exit am I taking? And you'd be
Okay,
like,
so this is the problem, and you can ask one of Jaden's friends because he's brought it up. I tell Jaden the right directions, but he questions my directions and the GPS's directions. So then he's like, "Is this where we're going?" I'm like, "Yes, turn here." And then he's like yelling, like, "This is where we're supposed to turn," but then he doesn't turn because he thinks he somehow knows better, and then he gets mad at me because he didn't listen to my directions.
yep.
Yep.
That's why like Seth doesn't drive in LA.
At some point, I just follow what she says
Yeah.
because if I made a wrong direction, I'm in a lot more trouble than if she made
Well,
the wrong.
that's the
gave
issue.
wrong
Is now
direction.
Lindsay won't
I
help
will
me.
not because I know
She's like, "I
either
know you'll
way,
blame me."
either way, I'm gonna get in trouble. So I'm like, you just have to do it yourself then.
I think competing against you in Survivor would be fun.
It would be fun because you have a better chance of winning because there's two of us competing,
Yeah.
Unless there's
and I'd be
snakes.
happy. And we could be in an alliance. I feel like I'd be better off helping you than competing
No, I'd
with
vote you
you.
out so fast.
No, you wouldn't.
No, you'd need to keep her around.
No, I'd be
you
like,
need
I gotta show my
alliance.
loyalty to my alliance. I'll
Hey.
vote my wife out.
We've learned that it's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so that was a fun one.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather discover that your partner has a secret superhero identity or find out that they are the heir to a royal throne?
The heir to a royal throne.
Really?
Like if I could really truly be like a princess
You'd
or
be down?
something, I'd be like, I knew it all along.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah, superhero.
I thought that one, I was like, that one's too easy. Everyone's going to pick superhero.
Well, I mean, it depends, right? Like, what's the
It depends.
the superhero, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
mean,
it depends on the power,
What can
right?
you get?
Because if it's like a Batman, that would be bad.
I don't know. I feel like superheroes are just always it's more
Which
dangerous.
one's gonna get me more money?
Right.
That's where my mind
Right.
always goes. Is like, which is more lucrative, me having abilities or just earning my keep? You
right.
know.
Did you guys ever watch The Kardashians?
I mean,
Oh wait,
Lindsay,
I
yeah.
haven't watched the newest season.
Oh, we were like all into the Lord Disick thing for a
Oh,
hot minute.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was funny. I was like, I would do that.
What happened?
Scott.
Scott Disick like goes to England or something, and he gets like knighted a lord.
Oh, really?
You
Yeah.
can just pay to do that.
I think so. Anyway,
When you're the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is funny you bring that up. We were talking about it this morning. So, you know the Lion King Broadway show?
Yeah.
Yes.
How it travels around.
Yeah. We've seen it.
Right? Yeah, we saw it,
Yeah.
last year?
2 years. I don't know.
I
2
don't
years
know.
ago. I don't know.
And we talked about what happened there, but I almost had an accident.
Oh, yes.
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 And the
I remember
animals were
this.
prohibiting
Oh,
me
yes.
from
Yes.
getting
Yes,
to
yeah.
touch.
Yeah.
Because they were running down the aisle.
They're going down the aisle, and I was like, what do I do? You know? But they just brought on Northwest, who's Kim
Oh, yeah.
Kardashian's
Oh,
daughter,
I saw
Yeah.
that.
as Simba.
Oh.
And there's some clips coming out, and I don't want to dunk on her. She's like 5 years old,
I don't know how old she is.
know how
She's
old
probably
she is either.
10, maybe 12.
but it doesn't sound great.
Oh.
So you think she just got in because
Yeah.
she's Kanye?
Yeah, but sometimes I feel like people get a bad rap for using their name. I feel like I would use it
Yeah.
as much as I could.
of course,
yeah.
For sure.
If the opportunity's there.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Is Lion King doing that bad that they're like, well,
That's all just
let's get a
like-
grab here.
Do they-
That's
need to,
actually
like-
smart for them because people
Yeah.
are gonna go see it because she's in it, and maybe they'll see one of the Kim or Kanye there.
yeah, I don't know.
That's actually
Harry, do you know
genius.
if it's just that one show or continuous?
I can look it up.
Yeah, look it up because I'm
Did
interested
you get
to
tickets
see.
to Hamilton?
Yes, I told you about that.
I know you told me. She's the one that texted me.
Yeah,
and told
I was
me.
like, here, you better grab those.
When
Did
are
you
you
get
going?
some?
August.
We're going August 20.
Well, it's in August.
August 20,
I have no idea.
20th, I think. I don't
Something
know.
around there.
Yeah.
I think we're going on a Wednesday.
But imagine if your significant other is like, I can teleport. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I'd still rather have the money because I could still take a plane to where I
Right,
wanted to be.
Yes.
I know, but
Oh no, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Hey, we're gonna go to Thailand. I'll just
That's what
meet you
I
there.
mean.
Yeah,
I'll
but
meet you there.
you would want me to have a
Oh.
superhero, or is
But let's say you can bring one person through
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
teleportation.
Yeah, then I would do that because a 9-hour plane
Yeah.
ride, 9 hours and 45-minute plane ride with 4 kids to Europe
Yeah, you
was
could be
long.
like, where do we want to have lunch? Paris or Spain or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that'd be cool. Yes.
So it looks like that was a one-time.
Oh, one time.
Anniversary.
Okay.
one
One
time
and done.
30th anniversary?
And just one song?
Okay, well then,
All right.
don't dunk on her.
I'm not. She's great. Okay. Would you rather have spontaneous, unexpected romantic gestures or planned, elaborate romantic events?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Linz?
That is a hard one. I feel like I like the spontaneous one though.
Really?
I just like to be surprised.
Okay.
But I'm
Note to self.
Yeah. That's not what I thought, but okay.
She says, "I'm like, do I have to pick between both?
I know.
I'll take both."
In my mind, I think that I would actually like planned because sometimes I have an issue with expectation.
Oh.
And if it's planned, I already know what the expectation is.
Yes. You're
Versus
speaking to my soul.
versus
Yeah.
if it's a surprise, then sometimes my expectations go through the roof. And then I'm like, oh, you're
Yeah.
just taking me to Chili's? Oh, okay. Okay. You know? I was like, gosh, I thought we were going to Roost Chris and like
Yeah.
to Park City.
Yeah, I like planned.
I'd say plan.
Because again,
Yeah.
I feel like you said, then I know,
Yeah.
you know, and I can kind of like prep myself of like, this is romantic, you know, instead of like, oh, okay, you know, like,
Yeah.
I feel like I do better in that
yeah,
situation.
I feel like I am impatient, so if I know something's happening,
That's all you dwell
that's
on.
all I think about, and I'm just not a planner at the same time. So
Yeah, it's true. Okay, well, that's all the Would You Rathers.
Okay.
I think you guys passed.
Great.
We crushed it.
Yes. Okay, let's move on to the next stage, which is We're Not Really Strangers. So this is a card game where it just helps you kind of like, it asks you or forces you to ask questions that you might not ask each other.
Okay.
Yeah, we have
Okay?
a deck of these with our kids.
Oh,
you
awesome.
do?
Yeah.
Great. So we're on to the reflection stage. So
Okay.
I'll pull the first one and you'll answer this towards each other.
Okay.
Okay. So when was the last time you felt lucky to be my significant other? Get specific. All the time doesn't count. Okay. So think of the last time you felt lucky to be each other's significant other. Like a specific moment. Kaylin's think long and hard.
I already know.
Oh, really?
It was, I mean, I feel like there's always moments, you know, but we went to Idaho
Yes.
and Jaiden went to bed, but my siblings and their spouses were just staying up talking. And I don't remember what specifically we're talking about. We're talking about like skills. Specifically, my dad has like skills with the stock market and stuff like that. And then we talked about Jaiden and his skills with marketing and that kind of thing. And I brought up the fact that if I have a problem, no matter the size of the problem, Jaiden will fix my problem.
Wow.
And
man.
at that moment, I was like, I am very lucky.
Yeah. That's daunting, but thank you.
Well, he just feel he's a problem solver, and so if I don't like bring my problems to him to solve them, but he knows if I'm like having a problem, he'll try hard to fix it.
Wow, that's a great one.
That's good.
How do I top that? Why don't you guys go?
So the other day we were talking and one of the things that I was grateful for is, and we joke about this now, right? Is I literally just show up to anything, and Brittany has it. Like if we go on a trip or like dinner or anything, I literally show up and she just does everything for us.
Yeah.
So
I can see that in
fall
her.
apart.
Yeah.
Well,
without her,
it is
so.
funny you say that because we went to Mexico with you guys, and me and Jaiden are very bad at booking trips. So Seth and Brittany came to our house, sat down,
Held my finger to push.
Jaiden's like, I'm not gonna buy it.
and we booked our hotel and our flights, and we had such a good time on the trip, and we were so glad we went. So
Yeah.
Like
I'm so glad
literally-
you did it.
We went to Europe, right? And like we're flying over to Europe on the plane, right? I'm like, so what are we doing? Like where
Are we going?
she's like, well, we're gonna go to the Vatican. I'm like, that's by Rome? Really? Like that's so awesome. I've always wanted to go
I
there.
know. We're
Like,
going to DC next week.
Oh, yeah.
And I literally was talking to these guys, and I was like, we literally haven't planned
No.
a thing. And we're going in like a week exactly.
yeah,
and like I'm controlling, right? Like I'm kind of a type A, want to
Okay.
be like in charge, and I've just learned like, no,
Just go with the
just,
flow.
just go with
it's
the
already
flow.
taken
Right.
care of. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's amazing.
Yeah.
She keeps us
Yeah.
running.
Thanks.
What about you, Britt?
I would say a lot of the times that I feel lucky are like just like this weekend. I feel like we work well together with like we communicate on like, hey, what's your agenda tomorrow? Like, what are your goals to get across throughout the weekend? And
Yeah.
I feel like he's really hardworking. I feel like just like with work and just like a couple of your businesses, and we also have like our Airbnbs. I feel like it's just, he's always like, oh, I got to go run over there and I got to go change the
Yeah.
laundry or whatever. And he's not asking me a lot of the times to add stuff to my plate because he just shows up a lot. So I just say that I would say
Yeah.
like you're hardworking, and he like calms me down. Like I feel like I am like a high emotion person.
Yeah.
And he is a really good listener and just kind of like coddles me.
Yeah. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. So, no, just because it's relevant, like, so we've been finishing our backyard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And we didn't have many people to help. It was just me and John, right? And like, I don't know how other people's relationships are, but I was like, Lindsie, do you want to help with the yard, you know? And she's like, oh yeah, I love this kind of stuff. Like, I love, after I graduated, I wanted to work like
Outside.
outside, and I was applying for jobs.
I
Like,
never said that.
and I was like, all weekend, just like, part of my friends were like, Lindsay's like a badass when it comes to like manual labor, you know, like, because we had to dig these huge holes for these trees,
Yeah.
and like we were moving sod, and like Lindsie was whooping all of us as far as what was getting done. So yeah,
Should
Nice.
see her at the gym.
Dude,
I'm too scared.
she's a beast.
I know. Okay, should we do the next one?
Sure.
What most excites you about our future?
Oh, that's a good one.
I'll cry already.
You're like, oh no. About our future.
I'm excited about our Christmases.
Yeah.
Like just like having all our kids there and like all of our grandkids. Like that's something that I look forward to.
It's funny you bring that up. A lot of things are like overlapping because we just had that conversation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I just like love Christmas and just like
I know.
how it just brings everybody home. And so
Yes.
one of the things I always worry about is like, I want to make it so that our kids want to come home.
Yeah. Because we were talking about that. We're like, when do we stop going to like the in-laws or mine?
Yeah.
Right, on Christmas.
Yeah.
And so we decided that we're going to do Thanksgiving each year
Yeah.
in Arizona.
With
right?
my parents.
Because like this last Christmas was so awesome. Like Fletcher, like,
Yep.
and just that like, you're making me emotional. I can't look at you. Me and you are on the same wavelength, the emotions. But like putting together like Fletcher's new bed
Yeah.
the night before and like his toys, like you like dream of that,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah.
You like see
Yep.
that on the movies and like your parents like
Yeah.
get your toys all ready and like laid out, and then he comes out and you have the music playing,
Yeah.
right? And it's just like that's what you live for,
Yes.
right? That's why you have kids, or for those moments. Right?
Well, and I'm a little selfish because I don't want to share that with anybody because it's
Yes.
mine.
Right. Yeah.
Like, so
right.
it's like, we're just going to do it at home because we provided all of this
Yeah.
Yes.
and it's ours.
Yeah, because it's hard when like we travel or like, because then you like we open presents early and it's just not the same, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's weird that you brought that up.
Yeah, I love
It
it.
like solidifies our thoughts.
Yeah.
So
You're on the same wavelength.
yeah, exactly. Okay, what else?
I'd say it's along the same lines. The first thing that thought was just like growing our family together.
Yeah.
So we went on a trip with our kids, and I was talking to a friend. We went to England and Paris, and they were like, "What was your favorite thing?" And I was kind of thinking, right? We did some stuff, and it was all kind of blah. And I was like, honestly, my favorite things was just taking my kids there and like seeing them
Yeah.
navigate a new country and having that, being able to give them that experience, right? Something I
Yeah.
didn't get as a kid, which wasn't bad, but it was grateful I was able to provide that for them. So it was kind of like just creating experiences for our kids.
Yeah.
Is something that I really enjoy doing together
Yeah.
as a family.
I know. I keep thinking about that. Like, I'm always like, is this going to be one of those like key moments Fletcher remembers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
You've got a little bit for that.
Yeah, I know.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
make
yeah.
mistakes still.
Right.
But like, you know, seeing us all work at our dining table, like
Yeah.
things like that. Because I
Yeah.
like have faint memories of like going to my dad's old office and like
Yeah.
his workers coming in and like putting lids on his products and
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and like, just, I'm like, and I remember someone said like, once you become a parent, your main mission then is the memories of your kids, right? It's
Yep.
like, what memories am I giving them and like creating for them, right?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's more than that. Like
Yeah.
for me, it's like, what am I teaching them? right?
Yeah,
Like, how am
exactly.
I preparing them to go out
Yeah.
to the world? And so,
Yep. Kaylin's.
Jaden likes to talk about our future a lot, so I feel like I'm always excited for the
Hear about
future.
I'm always
Future
like,
Jaden.
okay, here's the plan.
I know he's like, okay, 20s for mistakes, 30s for learning. You
Close.
say it.
It's 20s are for learning.
Yeah, learning.
30s are for earning. 40s are for relaxing.
Relaxing. So Jaden wants to retire
Okay.
or
Great.
partially retire by the time he's 40, which is only in 10
10
years.
years.
Well, good for you.
And
You
after
got
that, I
that.
just
I got it.
yes, and so I'm just excited because Jaden is very especially when it has to do with like work or like money type stuff. He's very driven, and so I'm just excited for that time in our lives when we can just like he works so hard and he can finally see all the stuff that he was able to accomplish, and we can just relax and spend all our time with Fletcher. And I'm also really excited for Fletcher to get into like sports and that kind of thing because I grew up playing sports, and I'm so excited to watch him.
It's
play.
fun. It makes you like a different person
Yeah.
when you're there. I'm like, don't judge me by the way I look when I'm watching my kids play ball.
I know. Well, you kind of answered it for me, but I'm excited for, they say when you make it, you know, and you can just sail off into the sunset, you know, and that's like, that moment I know will come. And like, I think, like I'm willing to work very hard for 10 years, you know, and like, not that I want to sacrifice time with Lindsie or Fletcher or like, you know, not have experiences still, but you know, that is a moment that I like can envision a lot, right? That moment of like, we're good.
You're manifesting.
We did it, right? I'm manifesting.
I'm a big believer in that.
Yes. I know. I keep calling myself a crystal mommy. So
Okay. Well, hey, I mean, Seth is not a believer.
Manifesting.
he is not a believer.
But a lot of the things I've manifested have come full circle. So
Yes.
That's right. It works.
Okay. Should we have you guys pull one?
sure.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'll just hand it to you actually if you want to pass it down.
Do you
Do you want to read it?
You go for it.
Okay. Oh my heck. Okay. If we started a business together, what would it be?
Oh no.
I've tried to get her to start businesses before.
I know.
I know.
No,
I
I
even reached
know.
out
Yes.
to Jaiden.
I
Like,
know.
Jaiden,
What
this
do you
would
think?
work, right? And you're
Yes.
like, oh yeah, we could do that. So I come back to Brittany. She's like, nah, you just go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
We're very similar in that same aspect where I'm like,
We
hey,
could
what are we
do
doing?
this. We could
And
do
Lindsay's
this.
like, why is there a we in this?
I know. I'm like, you got it.
She sent me this reel the other day, and it was like, it's always good to have multiple incomes. I better tell my spouse to go get 2 jobs. It's like
It's good to have dual income.
I know.
yeah.
I mean,
Luckily, they can work 2 jobs.
2 jobs, yeah.
right? I mean, we've more than most of our marriage. I've always
Right.
worked,
Yeah.
and so it's like, you know, you just go through these phases in life where you're just like, this is like a new step for me to be home.
Yeah.
And but my job was hindering me from seeing our kids play sports, and I was not doing that because I'm not going to get it back.
Yeah.
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 Gosh, so starting a new business together would be difficult because I don't want to miss any games.
So
Oh,
it's
what would
like,
it be?
doesn't work
Okay,
quite
so
like that.
this is what I think it would be.
Yeah, tell me the business plan.
So if I had a hidden talent, it would be like travel. So
Okay.
every single night, probably like 5 to 7 days a week, I'm on my computer at night and I'm searching the best deals on possibilities. So I have so many possible trips on my computer for the best price possible because we got to take 6 people.
Yeah, right.
Right?
That is
And so
crazy.
Yeah.
he is really good with finances. He's good
Yeah.
with business. He's
Yeah, he's
good
great.
with anything like financial.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you are good about talking to people and networking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be really good for us if we started like a travel agency.
Dude,
didn't even-
let's go.
Because
It'd
because
have to
I don't
be-
like the business part. I
Right.
think it's really fun to plan fake vacations, and I do it all the time, whether it be cruises,
good
things in
idea.
Europe.
But it'd have to be travel experience.
You could do, like-
That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Right,
like
but
very
you know,
like
like the
private.
flights
That-
from home.
Yeah, I know. Like I
Like she just
subscribe
posts.
to,
Like
yeah.
all you'd have to do is
Yeah.
just post like the
Yeah.
deals, and then people just get on
yeah,
and buy
maybe
it.
it is a business now, but it's like there's so many
'Cause people just
venues to go
subscribe
find it, but
to
people
her,
pay
right?
For it.
Yeah.
They subscribe to get the deals
idea.
first, so you
Yeah.
could just send.
Yeah.
Do
That's what I'm
it.
gonna
Well, it's
say,
like
yeah.
even like with cruises or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that's something that we're thinking about right now with our kids. Like I called last night. And the lady was like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be like $5,500 for this and this." And I was like, "Actually, I know it's not." And I was like, "I'm like, I know that."
She's like
I was like,
telling
"You
them.
actually," I'm like, anything that I've showed up today, it's actually like in the 4s. So you're talking $1,000 more than I'm talking.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I got her down to like 4,100, and I was like, because I know,
Right.
It's like, but if someone
Yeah.
were just to call out of the
Right.
blue
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, you want to go on this cruise or whatever?" It's
know.
like they just have
Right.
this ballpark.
Yeah.
I just like to go on as many trips as possible for the least amount of money,
Right.
Yeah.
and it be a little bougie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little nice.
Because I think you could even like for me, I'm the perfect customer of like, okay, we've never been to DC and I don't even know and want to do the research.
Yeah.
So I would want to just buy a guide from someone that's been there. That's
Yeah.
like,
That's a good
here's
idea.
the things you should do.
Here's
Here's where you should look to stay.
Yeah.
Here's the best time of year to go. Like, I would pay for that in a heartbeat.
Here's
you
the
know?
Excel document.
Yeah.
Here's $500.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's what
Yeah,
I mean.
yeah.
So something like that, because then you could just, wherever you traveled to, just keep notes, obviously, right? And like, but you could just put together like a digital
Yeah.
thing that people could pay, you know, $100.
One of the
right?
things that I really like are companies are starting to do these surprise trips where you give them a certain amount of money, a certain amount of time,
Oh, that's
and you give them
cool.
money, and then they give you an envelope to show up at the airport on a certain day.
I've seen that,
Yeah, and then you
actually.
just go and you don't know until you get there. And I just think that is awesome.
That would be
so
fun.
cool.
I want to do
Yeah.
that with you guys, and we can do a podcast like we show up at the hotel, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're
But
coming from-"
my only thing would be like I have to stay in something that is like nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it doesn't have to be the Ritz, but it
Yes.
has to be like something
Yes.
like
and I'd need to prepare myself for how
Yeah.
long the flight is.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, and yeah, that's
Yeah. Cool. Well, we've done a business.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys did.
Jewelry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I don't think Lindsay would do another business with me, but if we did do a business,
No, I already have a business, but Jaiden is unwilling this time because this is my business. Me and my sister and our husbands are going to buy land,
okay.
build 2 houses on it, and a dog boarding place.
Dude, there's not enough of those. I feel like every time we go on a vacation, people are always like, "Oh, you've
Yes.
got to get into like you if you're going somewhere for spring break, you got to get in like quick."
Right.
I would
Hope
be
you
on
like
board.
dogs, bro.
He hates them.
And then I wanted to build a 3rd house for family reunions, and we could Airbnb it when we're not doing family reunions.
Yeah. Good.
Just build a house order once a year.
if I did another
Yeah.
business, that's the business I would do. And Jaiden's good at marketing, and I like animals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You do that.
Yeah, that's the part.
I would also really like to get into more Airbnbs.
Yeah.
That would be something. But I sometimes I
But
always
she would want to be like, "Do we have to rent it? Can't we just get it?"
I
and
know.
stay?"
You're like, well, we might go in the fall,
Yeah.
so just keep that open.
I'm like, I'll
okay?
book it out for every weekend in summer just in case.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think Lindsay could do like something that's design. So either like interior design or like landscaping design or like, I don't know. I feel like she has a really good eye.
yes, but I also feel like I second guess myself, and then I see something else, and I'm like, they did that better. So then it makes me feel like, you know what I'm saying? I just
Okay.
dogs
All
are my
right. I
thing.
guess it's the dogs.
Dogs.
Dogs here.
Okay. Last one. Thank you.
That's me. In your opinion, how am I holding myself back the most?
Oh, wow.
Man.
That's deep.
Yeah, those are the questions I don't want to answer at
I
11 o'clock at night.
I feel oh yeah.
That's
10
a
o'clock.
lose-lose question.
No,
like,
I already know what the answer
You're
is.
not going to feel good.
no, like
matter
you tell
the
your
answer.
wife, like, hey, you know, I think you're doing this wrong. Yeah, like,
No,
I pass. I'm going
I-
to take my pass
no.
card on this question.
No, no, no.
I already know what says that it is time. I feel like something that is holding you back is the time that you feel like you need to spend with your family. Like I love the time that he gets to spend with our family. I love every second of it. But the time with our family is probably what's holding him back from his business is getting bigger quicker because he's not on the phone as much. He's not networking as much. He's not doing those things
Right.
as much.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't say that you would change that, but I do think that having 4 kids in the home is hindering
Yeah.
you. Just like this morning, our son said his Apple Watch wasn't working. So we've spent the hour before we came here trying to figure out how to get his Apple Watch to work, right? It's like that stuff hinders
Yeah.
him from working.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's hard to like, it's really hard to grow a business.
Yeah.
You know, once it gets going,
Yeah.
you kind of hit a point where it's like, it's like you're spinning your wheels just trying to grow it, right? And it
Right.
takes a lot of effort, I feel like, to like get it to go farther or bigger, right?
Yeah, even when you want to hit to the next peak, right? Like we've kind of hit a certain point.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I want to go to this many million more,
Yeah.
right? And it's like new challenges and new
Totally.
Well, and then you add
New
soccer
people.
schedules and
Oh, yeah.
baseball and golf schedules, and then it's like then you plan games that are out of town, and it's like okay, well now you're missing work Thursday, Friday,
know.
Saturday, Sunday because we have a soccer tournament.
Yeah.
And it's like so I know that that's what's hindering you.
you have to sacrifice
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
so.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, you go, Linz.
What's holding you back?
Yeah, what's holding me back?
I mean,
Why'd you smile at me? She's about to dunk on me.
No.
So it's a lose-lose question.
no. I was
That
gonna,
look was a look of, I don't want to say it.
no, I was gonna actually dunk on myself because I was gonna say it was probably me.
Oh, Lance. Okay, go ahead.
Because I know Jaiden really wants, like, especially when we were doing Riley Royce, I would say he really wanted me to get more involved than I was and to be more into, like, the marketing and, like, putting myself out there and that type of stuff. But that's just not something I like doing. And, so I feel like my personality and the way I am isn't the way Jaiden works. And so sometimes I feel like I hold Jaiden back a little bit.
It's all good.
Copier. I was just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a little bit of like, come on,
Yeah.
like this could be, we could do so much more, you know? And I didn't
Yeah.
understand why she didn't want to like go there with me,
Yeah.
right? She's like, just go there. And I'm like, no, it's
Yeah.
me and you. We
Yeah.
got to do this, you know? And so I feel like this new business has been like, I've been able to be like, okay, like I can do this by myself,
Yeah.
you know? Because, yeah,
Yeah.
it's scary to do it by yourself, you know? Like, even just thinking about you, like it's daunting.
Well, your
to think
passions aren't
about.
the same. Like
Yeah.
I love medicine, right? And he
Yeah.
thinks I think what he does is boring, and he thinks what I do is gross.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's just our passions are
Right.
different.
I think naturally you want to have, I don't know if a fall person's the right person or like somebody to
Yeah.
back you up or bounce ideas off of. And so
Exactly.
sometimes that's, something you lack if you're a single business owner, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have a partner. And so,
Yeah.
and there's places you can go and get those, but it's not the same, right? They don't have the same level of investment as
Yeah.
you. So you want to go to work and be like having her push you further, kind of
Correct,
climb the ladder.
yeah.
And that's not there. You kind of have
Yeah.
to be self-generated or self-motivated. So
Yeah.
I can definitely see that.
Yep. All right.
What's
Well-
holding you back?
Yeah.
Good
What's
answer.
holding me back?
Yeah.
No, it's supposed to be what's
What's
holding
holding you
What's
back.
holding you back?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead.
It's it's
thought we were
like,
moving
right,
on or
like I've
what?
got to go home and sleep with her, right? So it's go to bed with her. But I would say the one thing that's holding you back is sometimes,
Be careful.
yeah, right. I know, right? I think sometimes I don't want to say self-conscious, but she's not. She does speak her mind, but sometimes she holds her emotions in, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad you stood up for yourself. Sometimes you just, and you can do it in a good way and a nice way. I think sometimes maybe you don't.
Do it in
And
a
people
nice way.
that really know you're like, no, she does. But it's like sometimes you hold things in. I wish you
Yeah.
would, maybe instead of compartmentalizing.
Oh
them,
yeah,
bringing them forth, in a good way.
I do that.
All right, my turn.
I could take it.
No, I think, you're just kind of in your phase of life of like, I'm just going with the flow, you know? And like, what I want for you is like, you should branch out a little bit from the couch.
What do you mean? I go places.
Jaiden. She branches out. She just joined the toughest gym around.
I know, but I need you to branch out, so I'll branch out.
I did. Last week, this is what I said to Jaiden. Was it last week or the week before? I had something going on every single night. I had bunko.
Yes,
I went on
that's
that
good.
hike.
You did bunko and the hike.
And I did something.
Brittany's running D for
I
you.
went and played pickleball. And
You signed up for the race?
signed up for a race. So, but then guess what happened? My house was a mess. So I said to Jaiden, I can either have a social life or I can have a clean house.
But you can't really have a clean house
is
with a
that what-
toddler running around.
Is that what you mean by branching out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, go
Go
hang
make
out with your friends.
friends.
I did. But okay, also, again, I went somewhere every night and guess what Jaiden said? Every time I left. I don't even have a wife anymore. I'm living the bachelor lifestyle. So it's like you want it both
But
ways.
I'm saying I want it for you, not for me.
Okay, yes. I did have a good time that week, but I also get a little stressed when I haven't like done stuff around my
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
And I like trips, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm shocked we're going to DC.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. Because I think in the last 6 months, I think you guys were supposed to go to Disney World,
I
Yeah.
go to
know.
Harry Potter, and then I heard Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
what I mean.
Yes.
Like,
We're actually we booked it.
that's so great. You should just call me.
Yeah, I know,
Just have
right?
Brittany plan it for you.
I know.
Then you
I
have
feel
to
like
go.
we just let the years pass.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yes,
we're like,
that's
shoot,
true.
we didn't like
Yeah.
go do these things we wanted to do.
We've
you
been
know?
better since we got that calendar, I feel like.
Yes.
Good.
But yeah, because I know I need you to
Yeah.
be the person
Yes.
to help me branch out.
Okay. Got it.
Sorry.
That's
All
fine.
right.
I won't take it personal, I guess.
Okay, should we move on to our final segment?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Which is everyone's favorite, which is settle
Settle
our
the
debate. Right?
That's a
Great.
good one. I didn't.
Yes.
Settle our debate. It's time to take a side. Share your thoughts, no need to hide. Settle our debate.
So, I'm a worrier.
Uh-huh.
A warrior?
A worrier.
He
Warrior.
is
Oh,
a
okay.
warrior, but
Warrior.
he's
A
a
warrior
warrior.
princess.
Warrior. Okay. Yes.
And-
Yeah, you are.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, you are.
Yep.
Yeah, we know that.
And a worrier.
Yeah.
Yes.
And and I especially worry about the future,
Yes.
right? And every time I look at Fletcher, I'm like, oh man, we gotta get him a tutor.
Oh.
I gotta find a trainer for him, you know? And I'm just like trying to find my parenting style, right? And I feel like I need to do more research on like what scientifically is the best parenting style. I don't know if that even exists, right? As far as like a conclusion.
Yeah.
But like, you know, he's an only child. So I feel like I don't want to smother him, right? But also he's got to be a good kid,
Yeah.
you know? And he doesn't have anyone to like as an example, if
Yeah.
that makes sense, other than friends, which worries
Yeah.
me, right? Because
Yeah.
you can't control
Right.
who their friends are.
This age
To
you
a point,
can.
right? Yeah. So the debate is it better to be strict or lenient with children?
Either or. So let me just tell you one thing. I have gone over this thousands of times in my mind, and also seeing it in pediatric kids. Okay.
Okay.
The goal for a parent is not to be strict or lenient. It's to raise a good person.
Yes.
Okay. So sometimes people come down on themselves because they're like, oh, he didn't go to college, or he didn't serve a mission, or he doesn't do this, right? But if like my kid would still give you the shirt off their back,
Yeah.
I did my job as a parent.
Yes.
So I feel like you can't be too strict because you'll drive them away.
Yes.
So you have to be a little bit more lenient and guide them, because I don't feel like you guide through strictness.
Yeah.
I feel like you guide through leniency and just to raise a good person.
Yeah.
Because the ultimate goal, besides raising a good person, is that you want your child to love themselves.
Yeah.
Above anything else, no matter what, besides basic needs, a child needs to love themselves.
Yeah.
And if they don't love themselves, nothing comes after.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think, and I've talked about that, like with Lindsay, like the number one thing I want Fletcher to have is self-confidence.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Because then whoever friends or whoever he's around, he's confident in who he is,
Yep.
what he wants, right? But also then I'm like, but then what if I turn him into like a narcissist? You know, where he's like, he thinks he's the center of the world,
Right.
especially as an only child,
Right.
right? Like,
He's going to, because he's the only child,
I
right?
know.
Like,
That's
like
what
the
I'm
whole his whole world's revolved around him, right? But it's not good
It's
or bad.
funny because we
but-
argued about this while we were dating. I think it's because we grew up differently. Like I grew up, Jaiden's house was a lot more lenient
Yeah.
with rules
She laughed.
yeah,
Yeah.
put it lightly. Yeah.
than mine, and so we kind of argued about what was better, because I feel like we both turned out similarly. So that was my point. I was like, I think it just depends on your kid, because like we have 7 kids in my family, all with different personalities and all probably raised slightly different, but also the oldest I feel like is the practice child,
Yeah.
you know.
We call it the trial and error.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
unfortunately they probably get the most strictness
Yeah.
because you don't know any better and you're trying to protect him, whatever. But it's funny because I feel like now Jaiden would probably be the strict parent and I would be the more lenient parent because I'm more easygoing, but we were raised opposite, which
Yeah.
I think is
Yeah.
funny.
But if you look at it, both perspectives, all of your siblings are good people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of the
Right.
choices
I know.
they've made,
Right.
they're all good people.
I'm just trying to figure out what can I control.
You can't.
What can you control? I mean, at the end of the day, you just have to teach them correct principles, and they're going to govern themselves, right?
Yeah.
They're going to do, as long as you teach them and they see you doing it, right? Like,
Yeah.
Brittany and I have completely different opinions on some things, right? Like,
Yeah.
she's like, I can't believe you were raised like that. And I'm like, I can't believe you were
Yeah,
raised
right.
like that. You know, like your parents let you do what? Your parents made you do what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like I'm like, my kids need to know how to work, so
Right.
we're not, you know, pieces of crap in
Yeah.
society, right? And expected to be given everything. And she's like, you're too extreme on that. And I was probably grown up a little too extreme on that, right? But it's helped me. And so you just have to find your
Right.
balance and know, hey, do they
Right.
know that
Yeah.
principle? And
Because
hopefully they
I
can-
imagine myself having those thoughts of like, Fletcher doesn't know how to work hard enough, and I go wake him up and be like,
Yep.
go dig a hole out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just weird.
It's funny how some things come to light after you've worked so hard. Like
Yeah.
when I ask my kids to do something, they really just do it. They really do. But then like our son Merrick came out the other day and he was like, "Can I earn some money?" And we were like, "Sure." And he was like, "I need you to mow the lawn. Like, I'm going to teach you to mow the lawn." And now he actually enjoys it. And he's mowed our
Gets an
lawn for like the
allowance
last
for
2 or
it.
3
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah. And so I just feel like
Yeah.
it's like, it's both,
Yeah.
but they have to love themselves and you're going to
Yeah.
raise a good person.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I was wondering, is it just when the moments come, you just make a
Decide.
Yeah. of
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Well,
him, and
yeah.
like, is it just something that I can't really like be super prepared for? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I would say for me, don't beat yourself up
Yeah.
about the things that you have done wrong. And another thing I've learned is you have to say you're sorry. Like, especially as they get older, like I've gone to my daughter dozens of times and said, hey, I'm really sorry for the way that I reacted or what I said to you.
Yeah.
I can see how that could be really hurtful. Like, I apologize. And we're still learning. Like, we're not raising these,
Yeah.
amazing kids, but it's
Yeah.
like we're learning with them, and they have to understand that.
Right.
Yes, and man, there's a lot of overlap happening right now. So, like I said, my mom and John, my stepdad, was here, right?
Yeah.
And I was telling my mom, like, I had a big realization that you and Dad were growing up with us.
Yeah.
And like that thought was like, oh, so comforting. You know, like I hope Fletcher gives the same grace, right?
Yeah.
Of like, man, my parents were also like kids, right?
Yeah.
And trying to figure out their way, right? And
I
like,
remember, like, my oldest brother was like, Dad was completely different by the time he got to you, right? You don't really have that luxury, unfortunately, because you feel more pressure,
Right.
Because I'm like, I could screw up on my older two, and I'm make good on the younger two, right? Like, I'm trying to figure that out, but I think Brittany's right? As long as they know you love them, and if you figure out a way to instill confidence in your kids, like that's something I've always like prayed and tried to like, hey, how can I teach my kids to believe in themselves, right? Because a lot of bad decisions are made from peer pressure because they don't have the confidence to say no, or like, hey, it's going to be all right if these friends make fun of me because I don't do this or that, right? And so, I mean, if you can figure that out, you'll be a billionaire, right? Write a book on how to get your kids confidence. But I think if you love them and you teach them those principles that you know are right, right? I think they'll have kind of those as their core values, and core will be kind of their building block.
No shaming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, no shaming.
Yeah, because I think that lowers the confidence.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it lowers mine.
I'm glad I did that one.
Yeah.
'Cause I was trying to think. I was like, we could talk about like the temperature of the house, or like,
Yeah.
But I feel like you guys, not that you're perfect parents or anything,
Right,
but
no, far from.
You're ahead of us, right?
Yeah.
As far as like, you've experienced things that we're going to experience, right? Like with teenagers and
yeah.
whatnot. So
I just have to tell a story before we end. When I found out you guys were coming on our podcast, I'm like, I need to tell the story about. So we call Brittany a lot, especially when Fletcher's sick.
That's okay.
yes,
But I was sick after I had Fletcher,
yes,
and it was the middle of the night. I was like, I was having a fever, like I had body aches. I was feeling horrible. And Jaiden's a worrier, we know this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was fine to just like try and wait it out. But Jaiden calls Brittany, maybe Seth, I don't remember.
Called me, yeah.
In the middle of the night, it's like what, 1 a.m., 2 a.m.?
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
And they answered the phone, and Jane's like,
What's going on?
I just wish I could have seen your eyes. Like,
Dude, the funny thing is my phone, like, I used to keep it on because I would be worried work
Yeah.
would happen. But as we've gotten bigger, a little bigger, like I, have processes in place. So for some reason, now it's always put on vibrate or
Yeah.
silent. But for some reason, I had it on that night.
yeah.
yeah.
So they answer, and Jane's like, I'm trying to decide if I should take Lindsie to the hospital or not. So I actually had mastitis, and Brittany was like, go to the hospital. I'll come over and watch Fletcher. So she came and laid on our couch in the middle of the night while we went to the hospital.
I had work the next morning.
Yes. So,
fine.
and they are some of our best friends just because they'll literally drop anything and do whatever. So
Yeah.
we love you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
you
Yeah,
owe
we
me.
love you.
I know.
Yes,
I
big
get a call and
time.
be like, oh no, what is this?
Oh, we'd always do that.
No,
Always.
thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
This has been really
Thanks for
fun.
having us.
Thank you guys for watching. I feel like this episode was great.
Yeah.
More uplifting.
Yeah.
So glad.
You were nicer to me.
I'm so
And
glad. We didn't really like dive down to some topics that I thought we could get you with, but
I know.
just kidding.
We kept it light for you guys. You're lucky. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to tune in next Friday for the next episode of Between Us. And until then, enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye now.
Bye. Thanks. I don't know what to say.
I don't think guests usually say bye.
If you enjoyed this episode of Between Us, be sure to check out this other episode that we think you will also like.
And be sure to subscribe so that you can see all of our videos.
Time for